What's going on, guys? Alex here with another episode of Stock versus Not, and today we're in our last Chevy product that qualifies for Stock versus Not. So that's going to be the 2019 Corvette C7 ZR1, the big bad top-of-the-line Corvette that you can get for that generation, I believe. What do we got going on with it? Let's hop into the specs real quick and see what we have. This is rocking the LT5 V8 supercharged. I believe this is actually the same engine configuration that was swapped into one of the GT86s that we did for the Toyota lineup. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that's what one of the might have been the FRS that got this. But what do we have here in stock form? 644 performance points. It is making 754 horsepower in its stock configuration, which is absolutely nuts. With 715 foot-pounds of torque. It has a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and it weighs 3,500 pounds. So very, very good all around on paper here. We do get sports mediums tires with this car. So what does that put us ranking board wise? So let's look at the 700 performance point. That's going to put us against the 1LE Camaro and the other Fords and the ZR1 C6 Corvette that cut a 57. That one is a little underpowered compared to this Corvette. However, we are a bit heavier, but this one, I don't know, this one has some aero bits to it too, so I'm expecting this to cut a pretty decent time in its stock form. You might even start to venture into going against some of the fully modified Toyotas here, but we shall see. We'll be able to beat out the Alphard that cut a 51-second lap here. So anyways, let's stop talking and get on with the lap. As always, we're gonna do about 3 laps of me just absolutely bidding it. I should probably hold this steering wheel before I start talking. That might help. Alright. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this going. Right off the get-go, this actually looks like the same interior as the Stingray that we had tested out. Is it the last episode? I believe that's the last episode that we did. Maybe. I don't know. I record these all at different times, so I can't remember what exactly is on the queue at the moment. I think this last C7 was... No, the C6. The C6 was the last one we just did. And then, yeah, this one is the C7 ZR1. But the cool thing about this one that I just never realized that this car had was you had this big cowl hood right in front of you here, which is... definitely makes the... view looking out of the windshield pretty awesome. Who would have thought that, you know, limited visibility is fun to have. Alright, so there goes our fuel lap. Let's go ahead and see what this thing has to offer. 56.554. That's with me not really starting the lap out cleanly. Let's see how far we can go with the brakes. We usually try the 150 board on the stock cars and then see how much deeper we can go in with these cars. This is the track-focused oriented car, so it has the aero bits. It's going to have the better suspension, obviously better tires compared to the Stingray, and obviously you have more power with that supercharger whining in your ear. It seems pretty composed for the most part, a little understeering, but that's typically what you can get with most of the stock cars here. Let's get around here. That cowl hood does kind of make it a little hard to see around the turn and just destroy all those cones. 56.313. Let's see if we can get this third lap clean. We might have to do a fourth, but we'll see what we can do here. This car is not too terrible to drive. I would just wish for possibly like sports soft tires instead of sports mediums, but that's what the game says you're gonna get. I would assume that this car comes on some like 200 tread wear tire from the factory. Yeah, this car is... You have to definitely be good with your inputs here. You're not going to be faring well with it. Alright, we're gonna do a 4th lap with this thing. I want to at least get a decent run out of here. 55.898. Let's see what lap 4 has for us here. Let's go a little bit deeper than the 150. Roll off the brakes. Let's blip it down to 2nd to get that extra rotation. Come out through here. Back in power 3rd. Turn it in here, and we're just going to be easy on the throttle inputs through the guesses here. The car is handling fairly well for the most part, as long as you're not overloading it on inputs and asking for too much from it. Obviously, your tires are going to be the weak point of your driving experience with this car, but it is either way a very good drive. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Alright, 55.191. I like that. I can live with that time. Let's see where that puts us on the leaderboard here. 55.191 does bump it up in front of the ZL1 Camaro by almost basically about a second there. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. As always, let's go ahead and swap to a fully modified version of the C7. So oddly enough, or not oddly enough, it does not offer any type of engine swap in the game as of right now. So we are rocking the same engine, just with the high-end supercharger, which is a little overkill for this kind of track, possibly, but you know, it is what it is. So here's what we got going on. We now have 836 performance points. We have 1100 horsepower, 872 foot-pounds of torque, and we cut weight down significantly, down to 2,600 pounds, still keeping that 50-50 weight distribution. Here's my setup here when it comes to the suspension. You may take a look at this, screenshot it, do whatever you want. Differential, that is what we have going on down there as well. Downforce off to the right, that is the downforce I am running for this course. Front and rear, and for the transmission, just a fully customizable, and then just automatically setting it with this adjustment here. I don't really mess with manual adjustments much. Brake controller, it does have it, I just did not tweak it front or back. Didn't see a need to during my testing, but as always, you know, feel free to adjust to your driving style or however you see fit. Let's go to ranking board. This is going to be joined the 900 performance point club, which is currently all Corvettes. The C6 ZR1 cut a 48.140. So that is what we're looking at. So this is going to be a turbocharger versus supercharged race. The C6 actually ended up making more horsepower at the end of the day with its modifications, with 1700 horsepower. So looking at the paper here, we probably should land between the Corvette and the Camaro, but we shall see what this can do. As always, we are using the racing softs because you'd be an absolute maniac not to with 4-digit horsepower numbers. And I think I'm getting a little better with 1,000 horsepower cars. Learning that you have to brake 3 miles away from the actual brake markers, and you can't necessarily just slam on the throttle for the most part, because these cars, especially if it's rear-wheel drive, it's going to easily tell you no. But I sound like a broken record every time I do these, but as soon as you put tire and suspension on these American cars, their handling characteristics just change dramatically, where like these cars are so easy to maneuver and drive around this course, at least. I would assume it's just as easy anywhere else. Here goes the fuel lap number 1, 49.915. I think we can easily get that down a bit. So let's see what we can do here. When I was doing the modifications for this car, you know, there's actually not that much you can, when it comes to GT Auto at least, there's really not much you can add on to this ZR1. There's no wide body option, there was no engine swap option. When you got to the body parts, the Type A, like front splitter, was actually removing those side canards that this car has from the factory. So this is actually using the stock front end, nothing for side skirts, and then the rear was just the diffuser. So that's what we have going on for it right now. The wing in the back was already huge from the factory, and I was like, let me just see what they had to offer in that. And the only difference is that instead of like the regular kind of like deck lid spoiler, you get the swan neck style if you go with the high one. So that's what I went with. I personally like the swan necks. I think those are pretty cool. Like swan necks, or like even like the big chassis mounted ones coming off like the bumper. I think those are pretty cool aero setups. I also like the way I just like the ideology behind them. Alright, so for those of you new here, what we do for the fully modified cars is we'll run it for about 3 to 5 laps depending on what we're doing on time, and also depending on how clean of a driver I am doing it. But this one, we'll do 5 laps with this just to make sure we end Chevy off on a high note. This is a monster of a car. C7, probably my number 2 or 3 favorite body style when it comes to Corvettes. Like I said in the last video, C6 is probably my favorite. I would probably go C5 before I would go C7, just because pop-up headlights are, you know, they're cool. Who doesn't like a pop-up headlight? But yeah, C7 is still up there though. Very cool car. 48.392. We'll make this our last lap. Let's see if we can. I think that last section of the course is where we're kind of losing some time. So let me see if I can clean that part up a bit. But it is handling the S's just fine, as long as you set up your first line just fine. You pretty much can survive the S's in this 1100 horsepower machine. Downshift a little bit, get some more rotation out of here. Shift it back up and see if we can go back in. Oh no! Oh, we're losing it! Oh, we lost it. Okay. It's fine. 48.392. Looks like optimal would have been a 47.877 if you're looking down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And you also see it here, 47.877. That definitely would have done some damage on the leaderboard. But let's see where we're at. It is 3rd place on the leaderboard. So yeah, just a little bit slower than that 1LE. So yeah, if we did not spin out on that last turn, this Corvette would have definitely come in 2nd place behind the C6. So there you have it, folks. That is the end of the stock versus not section of the Chevrolet dealership. And the next one will go back to the European segments. And I don't remember what the next one is, but we'll go back to Europe, either it's UK or whatever, and start working in one of those dealerships there. But other than that, I'm going to shut up. I'll catch you guys in the next one.